Today we're connected with the IDX Board Commissioner, Bapak Pandu Patria Sjahrir. Good morning, Pak Pandu. Thank you so much for joining us right here on the C Morning Show.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hope you're all well. Hi.
Yes, we're all well and hope you're well too. So, Pak Pandu, let's go dive to our discussion where we shine light on GoTo as it's expected to raise 15.2 trillion rupiah or about 1.1 billion US dollars through the move. How would you describe the market magnitude of the IPO compared to existing emitters?
Yeah, I think this will probably be the largest IPO this year, one of the largest IPOs since the pandemic. Actually, since the pandemic, the Indonesian stock exchange has been one of the best performing market globally. Our total market cap today is close roughly about 650, 700 billion US. And our daily trading is about $1 billion a day. And the number of listed companies since COVID, I think we've had the highest all across ASEAN, right? So, the IDX or IDX Technology Index too has been one of the best performing globally as well. So, we really look forward having new issuers such as GoTo coming into the market.
Right. So, Pak Pandu, this is one of the most anticipated IPOs this year, as you've mentioned before. So, what are the things that we should be aware of for people like me and Carol, if you want to take part in this IPO as well, this investment?
Well, I mean, just like buying any other stock, I think both of you probably have tried the service. I hope you find it useful, the service of GoTo. But I think the most important is I like to call it a 3P, paham, punya, pantau, or in English. You got to understand it first. When you own it, you also got to watch it, right? So, just stick to those basic principles, know what you have, right? So learn about the business, learn about the service. If it's useful and you think it's good, own it, right? And after that, watch for the performance.
Now, of course, Pak Pandu, if we compared, especially to this GoTo and compare it to what we've seen from Bukalapak, this is quite a conservative number. Do you have what's the reasoning behind this, Pak Pandu?
I mean, at the end of the day, we ask for best practices in terms of capital market. Bukalapak was also a very big IPO last year. It's the biggest in our history. This will be close to that. And I think for all of you, you should be reading or just going through that the pricing itself will be between the issuers as well as the buyers, such as yourself. You'll be forming a market price for this. So, we're quite excited about this IPO.
Right. Okay. So, talking about those examples before as well, some experts have claimed that GoTo and Bukalapak, they're in the same position as they offered their IPO, from the red. Yeah. So how could GoTo's approach on the IPO be different compared to some other big companies or Southeast Asia's unicorn like Grab?
Yeah, I think there's two. Grab, if you mention Grab, is actually listed in NASDAQ, not here. So maybe Buka is a better example.
Right.
All of these companies are technology companies. This has happened the last decade. Companies are listing. As long as they show a path to profitability, that's important. Yep. Maybe a bit different between Buka and GoTo. They're using GoTo is using the most recent regulation, right? So you can see that the most important is this multiple voting shares, where the founders have a bit more of a voting power over all other shareholders. Number two, there's a green shoe mechanism. So that's something new, and I think this will benefit any other issuer moving forward as well, which is a tool to stabilize prices for the next 30 days. And this is very consistent, very similar to any other market globally. So the biggest market in the world also use what we call the green shoe mechanism. And lastly, what I understand in GoTo, they have a share ownership program for the consumer and merchant. I think both of you, if you use the app, you probably are able to buy shares directly from the app, which is also a bit different. And I think within that perspective too, I think GoTo mentioned that they potentially may list in other exchanges. But I think for Indonesia, this is good. The multiple voting shares, I think, will be a good precedent moving forward, as well as the green shoe mechanism will be a good mechanism going forward.
Right.
All right. You know what? Pandu just said that maybe we both can have the shares.
That's right.
And buy the shares. No? We need the guidance from Pandu for that, definitely.
That's right.
Now, Pandu, as of current state right now, GoTo is currently in the process of book building. What are the steps that must be taken before the stock is released to the public? In addition, can you please explain a little bit about the process for IPO?
So right now they're actually in the book building process. Beforehand, they had a preparation, the evaluation, including the public expos that just recently happened about 5-7 days ago.
Right.
The IPO itself, I think, will commence the next 5-6 working days, and after that, they will list, if I'm not mistaken, on the 11th of April. So hopefully, we wish them the best of luck. There's been a lot of enthusiasm over this IPO, but hopefully, this will be another first step of having large technology businesses listing in Indonesia.
Right. It is getting us very excited as well. So, Pak Pandu, can you tell us about, Gojek and Tokopedia has been around for a while now. Tell us about your view of why it has taken that long for them to do an IPO.
Well, I think it's just new, and also we also have to up our game in the IDX to be as I would say as strong as Nasdaq, NYSE, and I guess Hong Kong. Those are the three main competitors of index. So one of the things that we have done are actually policy and regulatory considerations for tech companies, which include the multiple voting shares. We also have a new industrial classification based on this business exposure, and a fast entry to index, and which is really important for large tech companies, right? So all these three things combined makes us far more attractive, and as well compared to those what is it called, the Nasdaq, NYSE, and Hong Kong, probably as attractive, or hopefully more attractive than those places.
Right. Does it mean that from this year coming on forward would be the best time for other companies or digital companies to do an IPO, from your explanation there?
Yeah, for companies that have large exposures to Indonesia as a market, I think Indonesia is one of the best places, or IDX one of the best places to list, right? As of now, there are probably about 12 companies that are already listed. They've raised about 3 trillion. There are about 32 other companies that are planning to list this year, which will be the highest number for the past, I don't know, since inception. So, I think why we're doing all these new policies, we're adjusting to the market. We have to always be very competitive, and we have to also offer the best exchange for the companies, especially new economy companies, to want to list in Indonesia.
All right, so you see, this year is going to be a very fruitful one, WeBe.
Oh, yes.
Now, Pak Pandu, can you please explain with us more about the MSCI and how the IPOs of Bukalapak, GoTo, and Traveloka will impact the IDX MSCI?
Yeah, thanks for asking, because the index is obviously very important because index investors typically are passive investors that are putting it into a constituent. So obviously it adds extra demand for the stocks. I think this will be positive. Tech unicorn will probably be, I think, for example, GoTo itself will probably be in the top constituents among the MSCI Indonesia index weighting. Just to give you a comparison too, right? The two biggest market, which is the US and China, if you look at the MSCI index, the majority of the companies are technology.
Yeah.
In Indonesia today, we don't have one, but hopefully with more of the large tech companies being listed in Indonesia, will follow similar act as the US as well as China. Right? Don't forget, Indonesia is a top 4, perhaps top 4 market globally for technology.
Yes.
So, again, this is obviously something very encouraging, and we're very excited for the potential of a lot of tech companies being listed in MSCI.
The good things are coming, in the coming years. So, one last question, Pandu, especially for companies who are planning to, go public. Tell us about the requirements and like the safe time to do an IPO.
Oh, if it's time, everybody's guess is good mine, but I would say today, Indonesia is probably one of the, least worst place or best place to invest. Our index is at an all-time high. IDR has been stable the last 5 years. Given commodities exposure, even with oil at a 110, we're still at a positive balance sheet, right? We're still a net exporter today. And politically, we're also very stable, right? So for a lot of companies thinking of listing, Indonesia, the Jakarta Stock Exchange is probably one of the better places to think about listing, right? And obviously, the Omnibus Law has been enacted, and that has also bring positive changes. And don't forget, this year we're hosting the G20 and the B20, which also shows very strong momentum and Indonesia's increasing leadership on a global stage as a place to invest. So, I've never been more excited about Indonesia's prospect.
Right, especially now we see the younger generation are more prone to investments, Pandu. I just want to, one more last question from us. I want to touch
Okay,
base
no
on this,
worries.
especially for newbies, just maybe like
Please.
me. I'm prone to products that, gives a lot of, profits for me. And we've seen now cases about fraudulent and bot trading. What is your
Oh,
intake
yeah.
about this,
Yeah.
Pandu?
Hey, guys, there's no such thing as get rich quick.
Yeah,
Everything is a process, right? It's
That's a
right.
good note.
step by step. So just like anything in life, you got to check and recheck whatever it is you're thinking of investing. Know what you're investing in. And, there's been a lot of case of binary option that actually has happened in China 3-4 years ago, and in the US 5-6 years ago. And essentially, it's fraud, right? So
Right.
this is something that if for you as well as your colleague and everyone that's listening, check and recheck whatever it is you're doing. And there's no such thing as get rich quick. Everything is a process in life. So that's it. And obviously, for all the companies listed on the IDX, we obviously watch it. And if you want to own something, learn about it first before you buy it. And then obviously after that, you always got to be active, watching after your own money, because it's very hard, right? To make money is hard, especially keeping it and growing that money.
Yeah, you know what?
So you got to work hard.
I've seen a lot of Papandu in a lot of my social media friends, and you're always saying, please do do the action, but please do learn more about it. Always educating
Please
yourself.
do.
Thank you so much, Papandu, for
you,
your
Papandu.
time. It was a
problem.
very insightful
Thanks,
and a
guys.
fruitful one. Please stay safe, and we'll have more discussion with you in our next episodes. Thank you, Papandu.
Thank you,
Thank you, guys.
All
Bye.
right.